when I came out here, and I'd been out here probably 3 weeks, and the snow, when I first came out there, the snow got deep that year in '57. And Mr. Hansen called me up one evening at 10:30 and said, young Si, why don't you come over and visit me? And I knew that he kept that kind of time, that he worked at night. So I went over to Logan and got there about 11 and sat down, and he visited with me until 2:30. I had to work the next day. It didn't make any difference to him. But we talked about everything, all his business, what kind of business he is in, and I knew a little bit about him. And he always called my mom Ruthie. And I told him, he said, how did you get to know me the best? And I said, well, you used to call Dad up in the middle of the night. And Mom finally changed the telephone from her side of the bed over to Dad's side of the bed because she got tired answering the telephone. And he called her Ruthie, and he said, yeah, Ruthie cussed me out 2 or 3 times for calling in the middle of the night. But he was that way.
I used to go up there and personally call on Dane, and he just flat did not go to work until noon. He'd be up all night and doing his work and his thinking and stuff like that. I always got up there just about lunchtime because I'd always take one of the guys, and we'd go to the kind of soda bar or the drugstore to eat, and then there was another little place up there to eat too from time to time. And time again, we'd go to lunch, and they would come back from lunch, and Dane would be walking, because that little white house on the corner, not little, it was a pretty nice sized house, but he'd be walking always to, not from, but always to.
He slept until noon and ate his lunch, and then he came over about 1 o'clock, and then from then on it was anybody's guess how long he worked. Sometimes, late at night, and maybe not that late, but he did. He didn't come till noon and worked late. He had a dictaphone, and we used that a lot. We had those sitting there waiting on me in the morning when I come to work, because he did a lot of it at night. So it had a big round roller disc of wax that you put in this machine, and it just wrote. He talked into his microphone, and that got all on that disc. And then the next morning, then I had that disc that would play those.
I was amazed he had a machine there called a dictaphone machine, and first one I'd ever seen. And he didn't come to work until after lunch. I didn't know what he was doing, but I found out later that he read a dozen newspapers every morning. And he came to work at noon. Then when the help went home for supper, he stayed on and dictated his messages to people like me on his dictaphone machine. And the office help put that on paper the next morning, so it was ready for him to sign. Now, that's how advanced he was at that point in time in running a business.